what is Hoopment? Hoopment is the practice of allowing small diameter hoops to guide us through space. In the process of them guiding us through space, we are moved. It's based out of flow arts, and there's lots of different implements that people move around their bodies. And really, the main reason I decided to call it Hoopment was because when I started giving hoops away to people, because for me, I recognized the therapeutic value of the hoops, because how Hoopment was born is that I use it to rehabilitate my shoulder after an injury. And after my shoulder was better, my whole body felt better too. And so I was like, wow, these are great tools. So I made hoops for all of my clients. And then I started making hoops to just give away to strangers. And the first thing 90% of the people did was this. I was like, all right, that's great and all, that's fun. But that's not going to teach you how to move through space effectively. To have these hoops work as our training wheels for ergonomic movement, we got to keep them in our hands. We want to maintain a hold of them, but a loose hold, so they can still move, but they're not going to go flying out of our hands because we have a hold of them. They're going to stay within our spheres. Our spheres extend to the ends of our hoops in every direction. And if you have extra large hoops, then you have a really good sense of like what's your sphere and how much space you need to have clear from yourself and from each other so that your spheres don't intersect. Intersecting spheres might be infecting spheres. If our spheres are just sphere to sphere, you're in the clear. Your spheres are clear. You're fine. Resist the urge to merge, which is touching, holding hands, hugging. That's merging. So that's the basic of Hoopment. It's the practice of allowing the hoops to move us. And I broke it down into 6 levels to make it easier. We start with level 0, which is just exploring space with the hoop and getting familiar with circular motion. And if we just follow the hoops around, we move kind of in circles. It's also stretch assist. Stretch assist. We can kind of get a sense of our range of motions by just moving the hoops around our bodies and paying attention to how it feels. Compare one side to the other. Always turn your hands. Turn your hands there, or else your shoulder is going to pop in a weird way because our bodies aren't designed to go that way without turning. And then passing the hoop around our bodies gives us a sense of the difference between the left and the right side. And so level 0, along with getting familiar with circular movement, we're getting familiar with maintaining and holding ourselves up, which is pulling in our abdominals so that we're supporting our spines. We're not standing with our guts out and our shoulders hunched forward. And what's interesting is that if you pull in that girdle there, it pulls you upright. It's easier to stand upright when we're holding this up. If we let that go, then we're gonna fall down. It's a pretty interesting thing. Try it out. So maintaining that engaged holding ourselves up as we're moving around is a conscious practice to help keep us upright the rest of the time too. And then level 1, we're becoming familiar with where our bodies are in space by grazing ourselves. We pass the hoops around to each other. By each other, I mean from hand to hand. Once I get a microphone for the camera, I'll be able to be further away and you can still hear me. Right now, I've got to work closer to the camera. so you can't really get the full body shots. But yeah, stick that foot up, graze yourself, get familiar with where your body is. Level 2, we expand into our spheres. As we expand into our spheres and we expand, contract back in, expand back out, and just explore, change elevations, go down, go back up, pass it around. Just explore. And that's what we're doing. We're just exploring our spheres. The only thing, we're keeping our feet stable with 1 and 2, also with level O. Keep the feet stable. The only thing that shifts is the foot position. And really practice just shifting your feet without even picking them up. And explore space doing that. And see how effectively you can move when you just move your feet. Level 3 is now exploring space within our sphere. So we're become moving spheres. As moving spheres, we need to be aware of our centers, we need to be aware of our greater spheres, and we need to be aware of the greater environment so we don't crash into things. Level 4 is returning to center, and so now we're doing stabilizing poses, which, if you can see, there we go. So we're balancing, but we're destabilizing our lower bodies by continuing to keep our upper bodies moving. You can also do yoga poses, standing poses, as we're moving the hoops around. Level 5 is engaging more implements. So we start working with 2 hoops. By the time you work your way out from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, you have a really good sense of your body and space. You know how to move your body. You're aware of your center, you're aware of your sphere. So you don't have to think about that stuff so much anymore, so you can engage more implements. You can play with both hands. The rest of your body knows what's going on, and you can dance around because you've been practicing that level 3, so you know how to use your space. You can throw in some leg motions because you know how to balance, and then before you know it, you're dancing. And eventually, you don't need your hoops at all anymore. You can just move freely through space and have fun and basically dance, but like a wacky person, just kind of wacky dance. And in the process of doing that, give your body a lot of novel movement that it really appreciates and enjoys that helps support your system feeling good. So there you go. And that's Hoopment in a nutshell. I'll be adding videos daily for each level. Level 0 is going to be presented freely through Coffee and on YouTube. I'll just have 0 level O videos out for everyone to work with. You can make your own hoops. If you go to the hoopment.us, I have instructions there. Hoopology.com sells the tubing, it's 1/2-inch tubing with 3/8 connector tubing. And sorry about all the umming. I'm working on it. You can make your own hoops. It's a fun project for the family. Make a bunch of hoops for your neighbors too. You can sanitize them easily. And share Hoopment. That's the Hoopment. Is the social movement of encouraging other people to practice allowing the hoops to move them by sharing hoops. And then I've got a lot of free advice or instructions, whatever. PDF files of my books are available on Coffee as well. That have instructions on how to work with the hoops and other ways of implementing the hoops in your life that may be useful for self-awareness and understanding and communication. So here we go. Welcome to the Hoopties. Thank you.